GSL Season 1.
What's up, everybody? We're back. We just wrapped up SHIN versus Zoun. Coming up next is ByuN versus herO.
Yeah, going to be a really fun series between these two. herO, arguably the best Protoss player in the world right now, going up against ByuN, who was on fire last week in the round of 12, going undefeated in his group. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. ByuN, 2 over Bunny, 2 over Trigger to advance here into the round of 8. I'm excited to see herO's first matches in the GSL so far this season, too.
Yeah, going to be very cool to see how herO performs. He's been really hot lately, so I'm very curious to see how he's going to fare today. I do think this should be pretty close, though. I think there's a world where ByuN can win, and also a world where, I mean, obviously herO can always win, right? He's been in incredible shape, but this should be a really close match.
Yeah, it's going to be close, but something also tells me, Tasteless, this is probably going to be pretty quick. The way that we saw ByuN play, last week, his games were some of the fastest games that we've ever had in GSL. I mean, he was winning series so quickly last week, and herO is also one of these guys that just loves to be aggressive, in your face. He goes for the kill move so quickly, so fast.
I'm interested in seeing if herO will also do that kind of like expansive macro play, or if he just goes for kills here, because herO's known to be the aggressor. He's very much like a micro-based player. I mean, I think since parting hasn't really been competing, he's kind of taken over as, you know, the Protoss micro king. So we're going to have these two micro gods duke it out here with ByuN versus herO.
Yeah, I think ultimately the shape of the games is probably going to come down more to what ByuN wants to do as opposed to herO. Especially in the early game, it feels like unless you're going for a proxy gate or a proxy 2 gate, which we have seen sometimes here in GSL so far this season, really is the Terran who has the options in terms of what kind of early game aggression they want to throw at you, whether it be like a Widowmine drop, Cloak Banshees if they want to go for Proxy Marauders or some kind of 3-Rex bio push.
Right.
herO's probably going to be playing off of that, and then if he's able to deal with that kind of situation, well, whatever it is ByuN throws at him, that's when he's going to start getting aggressive. But again, just given the way that ByuN played last week, I do think we're going to get some pretty fast-paced games.
I think so. You know, with ByuN, it's funny, I've been casting some of these guys for so long, right? I mean, GSL's like 17 years old now, right? I mean, it's
2010, wasn't it? Was it 2009? Were there any GSL games in the beta?
We had something in the beta.
Okay. Because I first started watching GSL in Season 1 with Fruit.
Because I remember, but we had some...
It's been so long.
Was that in the beta, though?
Season 1,
when did StarCraft 2 hard launch?
I think it was October 2010. September, October.
Was that right?
Yeah. Because I remember I had just graduated from high school.
Blizzard games, some of these Blizzard games, it's like... if you ask somebody, like, when did Hearthstone actually, like, hard launch, like, they can't really tell you because they kind of, like, doled it out over time. But, yeah, I remember thinking the game isn't even out yet, and they're doing stuff. That's back in... This was GOM TV back in the day. But the point I was going to make, going all the way back, is I get so used to these guys performing at a certain level. It's really exciting when I see them suddenly in a growth spurt of skill. And I think we have ByuN in a growth spurt right now, or through a growth spurt, maybe is the better way to say it.
He's certainly in very good form right now. If last week's GSL group was any sort of test, I mean, he's just looking fantastic. I'm really excited to see how he goes here in Group B. Of course, only a couple series wins away from getting into the round of 4, I should say, at the GSL, the offline finals. A couple of weeks away.
Yeah, and now we're going to go over here to herO, who is sporting all of the beautiful trophies that he has won over here in the background. herO right now just in great shape, and he is ready to go.
Yeah, top 8 in pretty much every major tournament he enters. He has been grinding. If you haven't been watching a lot of these online cups, herO has been grinding online cups more than basically anybody. I mean, like, it's players like herO and Clem and Max who just play in these matches all of the time. And it usually hasn't really been a lot of Korean players that do it, but herO has just been grinding for, I want to say, like a year and a half now.
Yeah, there was a couple times I've been waking up super early in the morning lately, either for meetings or I'm like trying to get to the gym, but I see like herO playing on in the morning when I open up my PC, and then I'll, late at night, I'm trying to watch StarCraft before I go to bed, and I'll see him in some cup there, and I'm like, man, this guy's all over the place. He's everywhere.
He plays more than basically anybody.
Yeah,
certainly in Korea, certainly in online tournament matches. So It'll be a really exciting match between these two. Folks, game number 1, ByuN versus herO, is loading up on Winter Madness. Let's start.
All right, let's do this. ByuN in the top left and herO in the bottom right.
No early SCVs or probes. I was leaning over, looking at the monitors, trying to see if we were going to have any sort of early proxy gate or proxy barracks shenanigans. By the way these two have been playing so far in the GSL, it kind of felt like we might get something like that.
So in this game, herO's going to send his probe out immediately across the map. We have seen this trending build. By the way, it's going to be barracks in the main. There is another SCV out. It is going around where the scouting probe would be, so he's not going to know that there's an SCV out on the map.
Yeah, maybe an engineering bay block.
Yeah, he's actually perfectly gone around this entrance here. An eBay block would be nice.
Usually when we see an eBay block, although it could also be a second barracks with the SCV stopping here. Oh, it's a second barracks.
Wow, okay. Yeah, I was actually sold on the eBay block that you were saying, State, but double. This is going to be one of those things you have no... When you scout the main and you look at this, you do not go, he's hiding something, right? This is the big difference between hiding the first barracks versus the second.
Yeah, the only way you know is if you count every single SCV on the mineral line, and nobody does that.
Right, right. Now,
or do some people do that? herO's starting a Zealot before the Nexus, and he's building a cybernetics core.
He might actually
Does he have an idea? It kind of seems like he has an idea.
Yeah, well,
it's not often that you see a Zealot get started like this in the early game.
I mean, is it possible he can't? I don't know. That's so hard to do, but who knows? There's going to be a tech lab here. I think this is going to be that Marauder build where you go concussive shells and you try to basically snowball the game.
Yeah, proxy Marauders with concussive shell, and then you reactor Marines, 3 or 5 of them rally across the map, could find some damage. And herO's looking around for something with this Zealot, so he certainly has a suspicion. I am so impressed that herO has been able to sense that something is wrong. He felt the disturbance of the proxy barracks on the map. Unfortunately for him, he hasn't been able to identify where the barracks is. So this Zealot's going to continue working its way across the top right side of Winter Madness, but the Marauder still unscouted.
Yeah. Now, this is one of these things, when it hits, the lethality is so fast. Because you lose a couple of units right at the start, and you're in a lot of trouble. So he's got 3 Marines here. Now, this already looks pretty sus, right? No expansion. Nothing coming yet. Another Marauder's going to be started. He's going to send the first 2. He is not able to get these Marines across the map, and that's a bit of a problem. You want extra material here. So he's going to come in here. He's going to bunker rush. And it's going to be a Stalker and an Adept.
Yeah, so probes need to get pulled here. Concussive shell already connecting with the Stalkers, but the probes are able to zone everything away. Bunker still being built, by the way. SCV just now starting to take some shots from this Stalker as the Marines are also rallying across the map. herO's going to try and hold the top of the ramp right now, but the probe wall is dissipating. That means the Marauders can take down the Stalker at last. And now they can start to kite the Zealot and the Adept.
Yeah, I mean, the bunker's not done. But is the damage going to be enough? We can see that he's trying to heal that pylon.
Pylon very low on HP right now. There's not enough juice in that shield battery to finish healing it up, so it's just 1 Stalker and a handful of probes versus a ton of Marine Marauders. So more probes going to get pulled now from the main base. 1 more Stalker is reinforcing, but ByuN continues to stream across the map.
Just
this might be too
murdering
much.
workers. Yeah, he's doing so much damage here. And he's going to go with a hold position here. He gets the kills on that. Another Marauder comes into play.
Wow.
GG. ByuN takes game 1. I love it.
I told you it's going to be some fast games between these two. ByuN has been out for blood so far in GSL Codes, and herO, it certainly seemed like he had some suspicions. Although it could have also been him just trying to skirt around a potential Reaper, maybe get some damage on the command center. In any case, Proxy Marauder goes unscouted there. herO was not prepared for the defense back at home, and that is ByuN taking a very quick game number 1 win.
Ruby Rock for map number 2. ByuN, dude, he might win this season at GSL, honestly. Like, he's got the builds, he's prepared, he knows how to win. He handled that very well. By the way, it was interesting to see that I think herO actually knew that was coming. I think that's why the Zealot goes out there and zones. Because usually the part of the rush that packs the most punch for that is when the Marines come down with the Marauder. It's supposed to be the 3 Marines and then the Marauders hit. And there's just like a lot of stuff to try to hit. It's hard to get it, especially with good stutter step micro. But even then, he knew exactly how to kind of navigate that perfectly.
All right, game number 2 loaded in here on Ruby Rock. ByuN spawning in the bottom right. herO up in the top left. ByuN, as of yet, the only undefeated player here in the season of GSL, has not yet dropped a map.
Yeah.
And I'm right there with you. It feels like he is unstoppable right now. And it's so fun to watch, too, because every single game is just another dirty trick.
Yeah.
You know? That's the impression that I'm getting. But you love to see it. I mean, Rogue has won so many tournaments on the back of that kind of approach to the game. Especially in a style of tournament like the GSL where there's so much time to prep in between these group stages.
Yeah, I mean, that's the real advantage about stuff that's paced out over weeks like GSL, is that you are able to have these matches where people really put some thought, okay, this is the build I want to try to go for and execute here. Now back at home here for herO. I guess the reality is we don't know what kind of PvT games herO is going to try to play, right? Because that was so much about, is he ready for what ByuN's got, right? That was all about reacting, and he didn't react perfectly, so he lost.
Gonna be a double gas opening here for ByuN in game number 2. Yeah, just confirming everything that he sees here with the scout, now sending the probe back on home. Will be a Reaper this time coming in here for ByuN. Much more standard opening here on both sides. herO finally throws down that natural expansion Nexus. With a couple more seconds to continue to scout here in the main base before he has to leave to throw out the Reaper. So he sees the factory get built in the main base, knows that is not proxied. Now it's time to go home.
Okay. So it's going to be factory here, probably into an expand build. This is one of these openings where you front load the tech and expand. Protoss goes for a little bit of an earlier base. And I wouldn't be shocked if we just see like the Twilight Council, Blink, Robo, something like that. Although I guess, you know, there's a reality where he could 4-gate Blink as well.
Yeah, I think it might be a little bit tricky on Ruby Rock with the architecture of the main base. There's only that one spot to blink in.
That's actually a good point. I take it back. Yeah, there's you want to have a lot of room, to kind of get into different parts of the main if you're going to use the blink build.
It could be a good 3 or 4 gate blink could just be a good approach to go for versus ByuN, though, if you're trying to meet him in the middle of the map because he's been playing so aggressively. Right?
Yeah, that's true. That, you know, we don't really talk about it, but like 4-gate play kind of organically counters weird 2-base stuff because you end up just having the answer because you were going to attack anyways. Here come the Reapers.
Yeah, double Reaper opening. Cyclone also in production here for ByuN, so not going to be a Hellion follow-up from this. herO's going to be wondering exactly what ByuN is cooking up because he hasn't seen the command center on the low ground just yet, only just now seeing in base, and unfortunately that probe's a little bit too far away to spot whether the factory has an add-on or not. So herO is at least still a little bit in the dark. I think that's one of the reasons why ByuN is not showing the Cyclone to him right now. Does not want to feed any information to herO unless he has to. Oh, and it's going to be 3-gate charge. Charge before blink.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, this is
different.
It's a very good style. It's just stomping a ground army that moves out early in the match.
Yeah, so, you know, it's funny. We talked about a different type of build, but it's the same idea, right? He's ready to fight. Is there any kind of like timing attack you can do with this?
As Protoss, you mean?
Yeah.
Maybe, but I feel like this is usually the kind of build that you go for as a response to something that's high-tech and going to be aggressive. It's there's a little bit less utility in terms of trying to defend against drop ships like Widow Mines, or let's say Hellions getting elevated to the main base, or Cloak Banshees also, just because you don't have the mobility of Blink. But versus a straight-up ground army like this one, I think herO's going to be feeling pretty comfortable with this opening. It's really going to make it difficult for ByuN to gain any sort of footing on the ground if he pushes once Blink or once charge is done.
Okay. He is going to continue to push up. And you know, how ready is herO going to be? I mean, he's got the charge. He's also keeping the Zealots in the back because you want the Stalkers in the front. Like, you know, oh, this is just your average Stalker build. ByuN's going to move in. Charge is 10 seconds out, so actually there's going to be a lot of damage that's dealt before the Zealots can just spill in and do all of that damage.
Yeah, charge is now done. You can see the Zealots are just a little bit too quick to get on top of everything, so ByuN has to hightail it out of here. Yeah. Marines getting taken out here on the retreat, and this is herO accomplishing the objective of the build. He's able to just use the Zealots to usher ByuN back to his side of the map. herO is able to do this while taking a third base simultaneously. That was started at the very beginning of the attack, and now herO can transition. Now he can start Blink. Now he can go into the robotic space, start getting his upgrades, because he's been able to parry the first main push here of ByuN.
Yeah, I love the wall in here at the entrance. Does not want this to be a counter punch that goes all the way across the map. And now ByuN's forced into a macro game. So I got to say, great planning here from herO. We do have a Banshee made. I don't believe Cloak was upgraded. And he's going to see it right as it pops out.
It's very good scouting right now by herO with the Sentry. And herO preemptively threw down shield batteries in the main base, and I think also in the natural expansion. Oh no, Stalkers are defending the natural expansion, so herO's just making sure that he's as safe as possible here. And I like how he did this so proactively too. He knew that there's the potential for a Banshee follow-up from a push like this one, and the Banshee follow-up is coming through just a little bit later than herO might have expected. But you know, we were talking about earlier, one of the major pitfalls of the Charge Zealot opening is you don't have the speed and the mobility of Blink Stalkers to deal with things like Banshees. Well, this is herO just making sure that he's completely safe if that is the case.
Yeah.
Already with the shield battery in the main base and the third base mineral lines, 3 Stalkers and an Observer here at the natural expansion. Even now, a shield battery in the natural expansion.
This timing's going to be pretty good. It's before Thermal Lance is done. The Colossus really has a hard time fighting without Thermal Lance, right? Oh my god, he's just going to be able to do all that damage over to those Zealots. But if he can come out here and hit a little bit sooner, because, you know, Thermal Lance, the whole game changes, right? That's when you got the splash damage. Very hard to take fights. By the way, the Banshee not really doing a whole lot.
He even gets taken out there by the Stalkers, so no damage found with the Banshee.
The Observer sees the medevac. Excuse me, the Observer sees the medevac moving out. So I don't think this is going to get a whole lot done either.
Spotter pylon as well. herO might try to intercept this with some Stalkers, but again, without Blink. A little bit slow on the rotation over here. And herO's feeling comfortable enough right now to throw down a 4th base. He's powering up with additional gateways. A lot of upgrades coming through right now for Protoss, but this is ByuN's window in just a minute to start moving across the map and trying to get some damage done if he wants to.
Yeah.
And it seems like he does.
It's hard to get this medevac out here. Oh, he's going to loop back around again.
I'm just watching ByuN's army movement right now on the minimap. It seems like he's a little bit indecisive about whether he wants to push herO in this moment or if he wants to pull back. And understandably so, too, because if ByuN does push into herO's 3rd base or his 4th base and gets routed, the game could quickly spiral out of control. Oh, that's a powerful army. I think ByuN should stay at home. That army is huge right now by herO.
That's pretty scary. I think ByuN's much better off taking a 3rd base. It's really herO's turn to move out. Does herO have enough to bust him? We were talking about this a lot, like it was going to have to be ByuN hitting him, but you know, herO's looking pretty scary.
I think
Dark Shrine
might.
Too. Oh!
There are so many Zealots in this army. What am I only getting a glancing shot on a couple of Zealots? herO's going to charge right in. Guardian Shield going to be protecting these Zealots from the fire of the Marines. Siege tanks both getting taken out. Colossi still standing strong right now, looking for the target fire here onto the Marines, but the Zealots, they dissipate, and suddenly there's no more front line here for these Colossi. No pickup micro into the War Prison with the Colossi either. There's still a standing gateway army here. ByuN was able to reset the robo count, but
I mean, you know, it was only 5 SCVs there. I actually thought there was a lot more workers down there.
Yeah,
he's going to force a lift.
Got 3 observers all right here.
I guess the bigger issue right now is that herO's getting so big on the map, and ByuN has basically had his army reset. This was all done while there's still a healthy amount of Colossus here. DTs are going to be moving out onto the map.
Yeah, ByuN certainly saw those. It's going to be DT Blink as well. Cool tech coming in here by herO. And for now, ByuN cannot secure this 3rd base. He has to wait until he's able to get a couple of production rounds in from all these barracks and the factories before he actually has enough. And so economically right now, herO sitting on 73 workers, saturated across 4 bases versus ByuN, who's simply fully saturated on 2 expansions right now, with the main base already starting to mine out. We're at 9:45. Main bases start mining out at about, I think, 8:30. So the mineral income, it's quite low for ByuN. The only reason there isn't too much of a discrepancy right now is because I think Mule's likely just got dropped, probably the natural expansion. So
right. Yeah, no, I think you're right about that.
For ByuN, it's not a very good position economically to be in right now versus a herO who's expanding again into the bottom left corner of the map.
And, you know, the 5th base being made right now for herO, you gotta think we're getting to the point where, like, Protoss is going to start to get too big to fail. Oh my god, this DT is going to get in here completely undetected. Does he see it?
I think he tried lifting up the depots, which is a little bit too late. Oh, Blink DT's going for the missile turret and also dodging the scan. We're talking about how this is an economically bad situation here for ByuN. That means he's been spending all the orbital energy onto Mules. Now, EMP does allow ByuN to detect. So he's able to EMP those DTs, clean them up in the 3rd base, but very smart move by herO, sniping the missile turrets, knowing that ByuN probably doesn't have a lot of scans in this moment.
He's going to warp
trying to
in
complicate
here as well.
As much as possible, and I love the Zealot warping on top of this. And look at the minimap. herO, he's bringing all of his forces to attack into the front because he knows ByuN has to pull everything into the back.
herO's going to, I think, finish him off here. This is so much damage.
ByuN just getting pulled apart right now, still dealing with the Warp Prism in the main base. Vikings are able to dispatch one of the Colossus here at the 3rd base. And it's a nice position here at the 3rd. Fighting with the missile turret is a little bit of a wall, denying some surface area, but just look at the supplies. I think even though this isn't the best fight for herO, economically, he's just too big right now. And once he's able to power through and take down this 3rd base and all the workers, that's going to be it. GG's called. We're all tied up 1-1.
Yeah, I mean, that was beautifully done. I think herO opened up in a way that was, like, super safe against what we kind of knew ByuN was going to do. Like, you were saying it, I was saying it, clearly herO was thinking it, and ByuN actually went for it. He wanted to do some kind of aggro attack early. ByuN really likes to go for these decapitation plays and get the kill, and so herO basically played counter to that. He's like, I'm going to go for fast charge lots. When the push comes, I'm just going to swarm it like it's bees.
Yeah, it was a very smart adjustment by herO here in game number 2, and behind it, he macroed so heavily, taking the 3rd base and 4th base so quickly. There was even a moment in that game where we were talking about it might be ByuN's chance to move on the map and have some presence, but then we look back at herO's army and it's like, wait, hold on a second. herO's outgrown ByuN so much over the last couple of minutes that even though intuitively it feels like it should be ByuN's moment to try and get something done, herO's just too big. You can't actually push into that. So ByuN had to try and anchor the defense back at home, try and stabilize on 3 bases, but you know, just a little bit too powerful. I love the addition of Blink DTs as well, just knowing that ByuN's going to be in dire straits, spending a lot of orbital energy onto Mules. It was a very complicated defense for ByuN, trying to defuse the DTs in the natural expansion and in the main base with a Warp Prism warping in Zealots.
Yeah, that was really nice, because you could see Terran scattered just enough. They try to send just enough to kill this DT, and then the Zealots come in and it's like, oh, you can't protect anything anywhere. herO definitely with a cleaner late game. Can ByuN come up with some other kind of strategy, or should he play a much more conservative game and try to go toe-to-toe with herO? We're going to find out right now. ByuN in the bottom left and herO in the top right.
Yeah, match point for both players. Winners going on to face SHIN in the winner's match. Loser will fall to face Zoun in the elimination match here in Group B. And herO's going for a proxy pylon dead center in the map.
Okay, so Max Pax build maybe here.
Yeah. How many proxy gateways will we have with this is my question. And also, by the way, it's very interesting that, this is a cute trick. So he builds the pylon with the first probe that he's sending in to scout, and now the probe is still arriving as if this is a safe macro opening where you're trying to scout your opponent immediately. He sends a second probe to build the gateway in the center.
It's smart, because right now it looks like he's just scouting to make sure that you didn't hide a barracks. He's made one gateway up here at the front. Gas starting here as well.
It will just be that one gateway proxied. Oh, this paired up with a very fast probe scout. I think there's no way that ByuN expects anything like this to happen. It's going to be a 2-gas opening here for ByuN. herO's getting the full scan off here in the main base. He's going to try and delay the barracks, I think, as much as possible right now with this probe, just waiting for the shields to recharge. The damage on these SCVs has the potential to actually be really impactful. These SCVs are necessary in the defense later on in this game. Especially because should herO follow up this with a Adept instead of a Stalker, which I think is unlikely, but it still is a possibility. As long as the probe hits each SCV once, it means the Adept will 2-shot those SCVs instead of 3 shots. So there is the potential for an Adept here.
So we have the cybernetics core almost done here. One Zealot's going to be out. It's going to make it a lot harder to actually put that command center on the low ground when the Zealot's there. You do want to hide it to let the Reaper basically get across the map. Otherwise, obviously, a Reaper is always going to beat a Zealot if microed at all.
Will be the Stalker here for herO. The Zealot's just waiting until the Reaper crosses the midpoint of the map. There's another Zealot waiting for it. So now ByuN knows exactly what's coming. And that's going to be the cue to send the first Zealot into the main base ramp, try and get some damage done onto these add-ons. It's just a Reaper right now here for ByuN because he's going for a reactor in a factory.
So he's got the second Zealot coming up here. The bunker's about to finish. There is a Stalker that's going to be coming across the map here as well. Got to be careful. You do not want to lose this Zealot. Taking damage on HP is going to be rough. It seems like he's going to try to snowball the damage down here by basically having this Zealot try to go back. He can, I think he actually, if he gets the reactor, that's so massive.
Yeah, this is huge. ByuN knows it. So the Stalker's doing a good job of shooing the SCVs away. Only 2 of the SCVs can repair at a time, so they are out repairing the Zealot. But now with 2 Stalkers here,
can he actually kill this?
If he sacrifices a second Zealot, I think he should be able to, but you're now taking full damage.
I think he can. Yeah, I think that was so close. Well, I mean, he killed some SCVs, I guess. Actually, he killed just one. Excuse me. I thought there was actually more.
I also thought there were more SCVs that fell.
Actually, ByuN was very good at pulling that away. I thought it was a lot more.
The SCVs for ByuN are just going to be all in the orange and red. I guess the boys aren't getting pulled this game,
That's
probably.
Right. You storm drop that later, they all die immediately.
That's the plan.
Yeah. So 2 more gates coming down. We've got the Twilight Council coming as well.
Yeah, Nexus now done here, the natural expansion. So here going to be chrono boosting out probes. It wasn't too committed of a pressure build here for herO. Just 1 gateway proxy in the center of the map. Kind of similar to the game that we saw earlier between SHIN and Zoun, going for the lings and then mining out the minerals and then normalizing into another game. I think this game's going to have a little bit of similarities here. With herO
think so.
Just maybe a tempo ahead right now in terms of the macro, building up the natural expansion. And it's going to be charge again. It's going to be charge, but it's going to be charge against hyperflight rotors. So very fast Banshees. If herO is not careful with his shield battery timings in the main base and the natural, or if he doesn't have Stalkers in position, the first wave of Banshees might get a lot of damage done.
Charge is about halfway done.
Shield battery built now in the natural expansion, but not in a position to cover the probes.
And I guess now, we wait. He's going to go for charge again. I mean, I got to say, it just seems like herO really understands who ByuN is as a player.
Yeah, but ByuN is doing a very smart thing, I think.
Yeah.
I believe he's expecting herO to go charge again in this game, and that is why he's going for this decision to go for Hyperflight Rotor Banshees, because you send 2 Banshees. If you wait until you have 2, okay, this does get scouted now by herO, so we should be seeing shield batteries. We should be seeing, it's going to be a Stargate.
Yeah,
we're going to have Phoenixes clean this up. Well, the Observer might actually have a hard time catching up to the Banshees, but it should work fine on defense. I was wondering what herO would do to try and deal with this, because the fact that ByuN is baking the Banshees, the fact that he's waiting for 2 before he moves out on the map, means that a shield battery in the main base and the natural expansion actually wouldn't impact things very much.
Right,
as long
you
as
just
the Banshees, if they sink their shots, the probes would get 1 shot. So instead, the choice by herO, it's going to be Phoenix to try and clean this up. I like the decisiveness by herO, just instantly pulling the trigger and going for the hard counter to the Banshees.
Okay, the 2 Banshees are coming across the map now.
That's a lot of Zealots. I think herO might be thinking of pushing into the natural expansion.
Can he actually break this, though?
It's 1 Siege Tank and 17 Marines. I feel like you can if there isn't a bunker. All right, Banshee's now getting some damage done. They're one-shotting these probes, but the first Phoenix is already here. And it's Hyperflight Rotors. It is not Cloak.
Yeah. So, I mean, he's just going to kill this. That was not worth it. Wow. Incredible. And look at the placement. He's very safe if this were to be an attack in over here. So.
It's good defense by ByuN. I love the SimCity, but the Hyperflight Rotor Banshees, it's such an investment, and the fact that 1 or 2 Phoenix were just able to clean it up for, I think it was 3 or 4 probes that were taken out in the natural expansion, that's such a win here for herO. It feels like whenever Terran opts to go for some kind of early tech-based play where they're trying to take out probes, so much of the game hinges on whether they're able to get the damage done or not. And losing 3 probes like this, I feel like it's simply not enough damage. ByuN invested so much of his early, what should be his booming stage as he's trying to build up to a power spike. He's invested so much of it into these Banshees, which didn't really convert into anything. And now herO, he should be pretty powerful in this moment, especially with a charged first opening.
Okay. He's going to unload here. The Phoenix is actually able to just kind of spot this. A lot harder to kind of be sneaky on the map when you've got that Phoenix there. Terran is going to move out. This doesn't appear to be committed, by the way. There's no tanks coming with this.
I think there's only 1 siege tank in total when it's back on.
Oh, I'm sorry. Expansion. I guess I thought there were more actually in the game. So he'll be able to clear this gateway. There are Immortals out here. There is a Colossus being made. ByuN does have a decent amount, though. I mean, this is not going to be an easy army to fight.
It's a very healthy amount of bio, and I feel like it's imperative for ByuN that he's able to trade this effectively. He doesn't need to do it right now, but if he does decide to go on the push, he cannot take another loss on herO's side of the map. The Banshee already didn't get the damage done that ByuN was hoping for it to get. And so if there's just one more fight here in the early game that goes herO's way, I think things will spiral out of reach quite quickly here for ByuN. You have to be very careful, and herO, he's itching for a fight too.
Yeah, he baits the stem out. Got to be careful not to do that too early. It takes a while for these medevacs to heal everything. So now you've got Marines with a little bit less HP. Protoss is not... Okay, hold on. He's got a Guardian Shield.
What make things very tricky. Did herO see this? Seems like he might have an idea.
I think he actually didn't.
Oh, now he's going to spot everything. Nexus gets canceled. herO able to isolate this army on the right side. The Phoenix is going to make it a little bit complicated to try and retreat with this army.
He's going to go into the main, and actually ByuN could then go to 12 o'clock.
Oh, and he sniped the Phoenix too. The Phoenix cannot chase the medevacs here into the main base, and now ByuN also hitting the 12 o'clock expansion. The third is getting hit. A full drop in the main. There's no recall here with the army. herO is getting pulled apart right now. Colossus, it walked up the ledge, and it gets sniped by Marauders and Marines there on the high ground. The third base is fallen. We were talking about how it's imperative that ByuN gets something done with this army.
He got everything done.
He got everything done. The army is dead. The third base is dead. We're down to 1 Colossus and 1 Immortal. That's the high-tech unit right now for herO. My goodness, ByuN. I mean, you look at these armies on paper, and it seems like it's dead even. You know, you feel like it should be very hard for ByuN to make something happen, but he outmaneuvers herO to such a degree that herO loses everything simultaneously. The army in the main base and the expansion at the third.
I mean, this is wild, man. I can't believe how badly ByuN slapped herO down in that fight. I mean...
It was like a martial arts move or something.
It was like tactical perfection. He faked him out. He actually wanted to go to the main. He goes, oh, there's a base here, drops, hits. The army comes down. He goes, oh, now your other base is open. Goes up there.
He's really able to finally catch this medevac. Did not get away. But even going back to the micro moves that ByuN made, you know, some of it's tactical decision making, as you said. You know, being able to splinter off the army and then just kind of weave your way into the 12 o'clock expansion. But also the fact that he dropped there at the 4th, forced a cancel on that Nexus. Actually, hold that. I thought this is 2 more medevacs getting cleaned up.
Yeah, I mean, ByuN needs to be careful to not be too wasteful here.
Yeah, the initial fights were so good for ByuN, but it feels like the follow-up was a little bit fragmented.
Well, the push is going to come out again. Remember that the Colossi were all killed too. We talked about the 2 bases going down, but the Colossus tech was wiped. So he's having to start over with making Colossus again. And there's a Warp Prism coming out. So usually a Warp Prism telegraphs you're going to, at most, do a push, at least harass. But it seems like ByuN is getting ready to move out here as well. Well, I say that, now he's going to siege up, so maybe he is just going to be kind of going a little bit slower.
Yeah, we'll see what ByuN's going to do. It's a little bit sad that he wasn't able to build on the momentum of sniping the third base and also taking down, I think, 1 or 2 Colossi with that move into the main base. Because herO's done a very good job of recovering. He's got 3 Phoenix patrolling the map right now, looking for any more medevacs, and they've already paid for themselves. I think 3 medevacs, perhaps all full of units, have gotten taken out in the last minute or 2. And that's up to 30 supply of Terran army that has basically been traded out for free. And ByuN is still ahead in army supply, just going to show exactly what a great position he was in after sniping the 3rd Nexus and taking that fight in the main base. But herO's now just 1 fight away, 1 good fight away from really starting to bridge the gap between these 2 again.
We got a lot of Zealots coming down here, but Terran's not out on the map. So, you know, you can just immediately fend this off. He's going to get a couple Zealot kills here. Not too big of a deal. herO is finally now getting his 4th base up. ByuN is quite ahead in supply here. Ghosts are being incorporated as well. This push, it's paramount right now that herO does not die to it. Because if herO falls apart here, ByuN is going to win this game.
ByuN with 2 starports as well. He's now going for a double production cycle of Medivacs, building 3 more. The way that ByuN's been navigating his army composition is pretty interesting up until this point. I know he traded some Medivacs out earlier with the drops, but he was sitting on just 2 Medivacs and 10 Vikings a moment ago. And so he's really going for an army that is powerful in one head-on engagement, not one that's able to sustain for a long period of time with dropships.
Okay. War Prism's going to come down. And Terran's going to be hitting. The Viking count is huge. He's going to try to stay back. He's got to just dodge the Disruptor shots. He's going to take out the first Viking.
Oh, the Vikings right now, they're hitting the Phoenix instead of the Colossi, though. So the Colossi are standing strong here for herO. He's able to take down most of the army here on the ground. The Vikings now getting to work on the Colossi as ByuN micros back. He wants to make sure the Colossi are mostly defeated before he's going for the rest of the engagement. And I know it seems like ByuN didn't trade very well in that fight, but that's because the majority of ByuN's army, I think, is actually still back at home. He's up 100 army supply to 70 now.
Yeah, and he's got the Colossi count down quite a bit. He's going to regroup. We have one extremely bruised Colossus.
Very Marauder-heavy composition here, too.
Marauder. And so, you know, is ByuN going to attack it again? I feel like herO is really up against the ropes. He's really in a tough spot. And
this is such a herO move to do, by the way, when you're in a tough spot like this. Start getting active on the map.
Out. Yeah. Try to see if you can get like the guy on move command or not really ready for a fight. But ByuN's going to take his 4th base. I mean, it looks like he wants to get just a couple more ghosts. If he can get a good EMP or 2 off. I believe there are Templars with the army, right?
No, just Archons.
Sorry, you're right, because he went for Disruptor Colossus. So it's a lot of people that were going for Colossus Templar.
It's a bit concerning, though, going for the Archons instead of the Storm, because the Archons, it feels like they're a lot easier to defuse as the Terran player with Ghosts and Storms are. You know, the Templar, they can hang back until the engagement has gone on long enough that they can start to inch forward while Terran is occupied with some other micro or some other part of the engagement. You can actually get a couple of Storms in almost reliably in PvT, but just the Archons here. It's not going to be a lot of firepower. These Disruptors are crucial for herO, and ByuN's going to be able to snipe at least one of them here. He wants the second one, too. ByuN knows how important these Disruptors are. The DPS for herO's army, it's mostly the 3 Colossi, the Archons, and the Disruptors, and the Archons almost certainly are going to get EMP'd and taken out the instant the fight begins.
Yeah, he's going to try to come up now. Again, it's all about herO surviving this. If the game goes on, herO might be able to figure out a way to win. ByuN is so focused on trying to close this game out. If he wins here, oh, it's going to be huge. Here we go.
EMP on 3 Disruptors on the front line, and ByuN takes every single one down before the shots can finally pop. And he's got an entire another army here.
He's
That's a triangle
everywhere.
expansion. herO losing even more economy as ByuN's in a retreat here in the center of the map. He is going to suffer some losses right now to the chasing Protoss army, but he's able to snipe another Nexus. If he moves down to the 3 o'clock position, he'll see another expansion that herO is trying to take. ByuN has done such a good job of keeping herO's economy in check this game. I mean, look at the supplies. It's 188 versus 145 a moment ago.
Yeah, I mean, once again, ByuN cuts through and really doesn't suffer a lot of losses. I think you're fine with a couple of these units getting bled off here. Now comes the big attack in the open. The first Colossus goes down.
There's very little front line here for herO. Just a handful of Zealots, all deep in the red and orange HP. More Stalkers being warped in for herO right now. He knows he needs ranged DPS. He needs to try and take little bite-sized engagements with the Terran army. Because if it's one head-on engagement, herO does not win. You cannot push up this ramp right now as herO, and actually ByuN's going to chase down. Disruptor shots are coming off. Only catching 2 Marauders there. The next shot's going to be able to get a big pack of Marauders, but there still is going to be a little bit too much here for ByuN. He's powering through Disruptor shots. They've gotten the connections, but ByuN is just too big. He is too strong.
This is it. The game is done, I think. ByuN, just an incredible performance, is going to win our second best of 3 here. herO his head cocked to the side here. He knows it's basically impossible. ByuN, honest to God, this is the best I have seen him play.
He is looking so good right now.
GG. And I'm talking about, I've seen ByuN, win GSLs before, but like right now, I swear he looks better than even that. He is so strong.
I mean, herO is the strongest Protoss in this tournament right now, bar none. And ByuN able to take him down 2-1. The first map loss for ByuN in the entire tournament. He's going to move on to the winners match versus SHIN.
Yeah.
Wow, ByuN.
Beautifully done.
Looking so good. I'm still just mesmerized by the tactical brilliance that he had, going for the triple drop to take down the 4th base and then going to the main base. And that opens up the avenue for him to attack the 3rd. It was just brilliant play by ByuN there in Game 3.
He's so good. It's crazy. I cannot believe how perfect he was tactically. I mean, that's one of those things. You have like a split second to look at it, and he made all the right decisions. Kudos to him. We're going to go to our next matchup now, guys. It's going to be ByuN versus SHIN. We will be right back.